Hey folks, welcome back to another Poem Massive video. So today we are going to talk about the new units that are coming tonight, right? So that being Ingo and Excadrill, Emmett, and I don't know. I think it's okay. We got that one right. Ingo, Excadrill, Emmett, and Archop. So we're going to talk about Ingo and Excadrill in this video, right? So these are both Pokefairs, and again, they are both dropping tonight, right? So going over the units, there are some basic things that you have to know in terms of what they do, right? So this is basically, it's a Sandstorm unit that has offensive support, which is nice, and is a tank, right? It's one of those rare Pokefair supports, right? Only two in the game outside of, well, not outside of Excadrill, but Excadrill and Blastoise, right? And if you start looking at, in terms of stat-wise, the big highlights over here are the, relatively good defenses, good HP, and really, really great speed as well, right? So you got all the right, I guess, stats, right? The good stats in the right places. The one slight sad part about Excadrill over here is that it has almost no damage output, right? I mean, its stats not very great, and the only one attacking move is Mud Slap, which is 1 gauge 15 base power move at like 5 out of 5. And that slightly sucks a bit because a lot of the other weather units in this game, right, stuff like a Groudon, like Kyogre, like a May, a Ho-Oh, or whatever, can all output some like really, really serious damage, right? Sometimes even more than your main striker can do in terms of damage. So unfortunately it doesn't have that going for it, but it is a tank, and it is, I'd say, pretty well needed one in a lot of Sandstorm teams, right? So in terms of the kit, you also have potions, right? Which helps its survivability, obviously, as a tank, and then you have your trainer move, which is really nice, which raises the attack of all allied sync pairs by 1 stat rank, raises the crit of all allied sync pairs by 2 stat ranks, right? It applies this free move next effect to all allied sync pairs during the Sandstorm. And in the Sandstorm, right, every time you use a status, or not every time, but first time you use a status move, right, you get +2 attack and +2 special attack. So you could get up to a total of, what, +4 over here, right, for physical attack, which is mostly all you need. I mean, again, there really aren't that many units that need +6, right, in terms of, especially units that also need sand, right? The big ones, Olivia, Garchomp, right, Archeops, right, they don't really need +6. They really only just need either +2 or +4 or whatever, right? So it's fine that you don't max it out. And what you do max out is crit, which is nice, and also again gives you free move next. Even though it shouldn't be that big of a deal because you are really, relatively quick, I'd say, right? Or Surging Sand Swamper. Although you probably don't want to do that. And yeah, and then you have some other stuff. You got Sandy Pepper Alley 9. Every time you use a move in sand, it buffs your team's speed by 1, which is again very, very useful for Garchomp ramming speed, inertia on Lycanroc, right, among other things, or just being useful, right? And then you have a Sedimentary, which protects you from sandstorms, so Sand Shelter plus 30% defense and special defense increase in Sandstorm. So you're going to be a very, very, very great tank over here, again, for sand units, and it's going to be a bit more effective than Jasmine, just because, Jasmine, really, really great physical tank. However, very slow and not that great of a special tank in comparison, right? I mean, it's not exactly close. So yeah, I do think Excadrill is the much better tank over here, Sandstorm tank, in comparison to, like, say, Jasmine, right? And also it gives, honestly, just better buffs overall. So yeah, it's basically the Sandstorm unit, right? Basically the Sandstorm unit. And on the grid, you got Massey Healer, obviously, Potion, MP Refresh, and then you got, some other stuff. MP Refresh on Sandstorm, MP Refresh 2, sadly, but I mean, it's something, I guess. And, Soothing Sand, some things that are nice, some things that aren't that big of a deal, right? Gritty Guardian's nice. But yeah, in terms of the unit, right? So here's a few things that you do want to consider, because if you are summoning on Excadrill, if you're just going for like 1 out of 5, you really don't have that much, unfortunately. Like you do get the, you know, the MP refresh on your trainer move, which could be useful maybe, but again, like it sounds like it seems better on paper, but like it doesn't really have that many practical uses in my opinion, right? So there's that for one. So yeah, again, there are like a lot of things to consider because anniversary is coming in, you know, late August, right? Which is around 2 months away. Right? So we are pretty close to second anniversary, and Groudon and Kyogre are still, you know, going on their banners, or they're almost gone, right? Something like that. And Groudon and Kyogre are just straight up better, you know, more powerful units all around. And the other thing is, at 1 out of 5, like, it is better than Acerola, no question, right? No question better than Acerola. It's much faster. The defense is much better. The big, you know, thing about Acerola is the thing can't tank, right? And usually in a team comp, you would want to have, you know, someone take hits, and Acerola cannot do that. So most of the time, you're usually tanking with either like a non-sand tank, or Jasmine, or Cynthia herself, right? But outside of that, honestly, outside of like the tanking thing, Acerola is not like that much worse than like 1 out of 5 Excadrill. Like again, you know, Excadrill is much better. Well, I wouldn't say not much, but in terms of like usage wise, I wouldn't say like it's something, oh, you have to go spend gems on, or you can't run a Sandstorm team. No, you could definitely run a Sandstorm team without Excadrill, right? So things that you do, you know, over Acerola, you get the team speed buffs, right? Again, you tank much better. You give special attack buffs, and you do give, I'd say, better offensive buff, but like attack and crit Acerola could also give you, but it's, you know, not as reliable, right? But Acerola can do that, and that's kind of it for the most part, right? So you're just going for like 1 out of 5 Excadrill for like, oh, so you can run like Sandstorm. I wouldn't really worry too much. Like Acerola should be enough for like most of your uses, right? But again, this is a very nice unit in my opinion, right? But again, this is just not the best time to summon for it. Again, you got the 2 Master Fairs going on, and he's coming, you know, maybe pretty soon. The summer units, if you want those, right? Those are, you know, the seasonal units, obviously much more rare than Pokefairs. And these two, like, if you really want them, they're probably just gonna get rerun together eventually, and you know, it's not bad if they are like on the same banner, because these 2 units are basically, you run them together, right? They're very well together. So like, even if you really want them, I'd just probably wait for like a rerun eventually, right? It's probably gonna come after the Annie. I'd say somewhere around like maybe Christmas, right, or so. They're probably gonna come back, right? And on maybe a much more a better time than right now. So yeah, if you're free to play, I probably wouldn't really go for this unless you're really struggling with Sandstorm teams for some reason. Then okay, I guess, but like, yeah, outside of that, I really wouldn't go for it. Obviously, if you have, you know, if you whale, you could spend money or whatever, then go do it if you really want. If you're a huge fan of, you know, what's his name, Ingo, or a huge Excadrill fan, then again, I'm not stopping you. But yeah, overall, great unit. It's nothing you can't live without, right? Definitely nothing that you can live without, and there are just better things to either save for or spend your gems on at the moment, or I guess slightly more important things, right? If that's what you care about. So yeah, that's maybe this one, I guess. Hope you guys enjoy. Guys, in the comments down below. Like, join us, fitness, my channel for some more open master content, and yeah, go check out the summon stream later tonight when these 2 drop at resets. Hopefully that goes well, and I'll see you guys in the next one.